we might hear, go away. We will hear the others come in. If they do in fact come in, there'll be a little ding dong noise. All right, so without further ado, today we're talking about some advanced Facebook strategies that you may not have discovered yet, depending upon how new you are to Facebook for Business. I know Dan's been at it a while and Wayne is learning. But here are things that I have determined. This presentation are things that I've determined people who've even used Facebook for quite a long time sort of forget about or have missed out on. And so I find them very helpful, and I hope that you will too. A tiny bit about Facebook data. First of all, this is just to show you that Facebook remains #1 in social media marketing. It's the #1 site, as you can see by the tall blue blue bar on the left. That's in terms of monthly users. And so if you've heard that Facebook is dying, don't believe it. It is still #1, and every business needs to be there, in my opinion. You'll see the second one is YouTube, and that is to say YouTube is its own social media site. You can like things, you can comment, you can share, and that's the definition of social media. But we do, in fact, use that differently. But it is #2 in social media. And thirdly, Instagram. That bar is probably way up closer to the 1.5 billion at this point. This is 2017 data, and Instagram has had a big surge over the last year, largely because of Facebook's problems, but because Facebook owns Instagram. So the two are working together very well, and I don't recommend an Instagram strategy for most businesses. So this is why we're here, because Facebook is still #1. The rest of them on this chart don't even bother, okay? So here's what we know about Facebook. People are spending 50 minutes of their day on Facebook. So 50 minutes, almost an hour every day, people spend of their lives on Facebook. For me, it's 24/7 because it's my job, but for most people, it's 1/16 of their waking hours. And that's why you have to be on Facebook as businesses. Both of you, type me in the chat box whether you think that's a high number for you personally or a low number for you personally. 50 minutes a day. So this is just to review some of the beginner level things you really must know before I can go forward. I'm assuming that both of you know how to toggle between your personal page and your business page. You know how to operate one as opposed to the other at any given time on Facebook. Dan says, yes, I can toggle. And Dan says, yep, he's pretty close to 50 minutes a day on his Facebook usage. Wayne, can you drop in and tell me what your experience is? And do you know how to schedule posts? That's key to being able to operate efficiently on Facebook. So let me know if you know how to do that. Wayne says 50 minutes a day is high for him. And do you know how to toggle between your personal page? And both of you, do you know how to schedule Facebook posts into the future? Type me your answers to that. And while you're thinking about that, here's something I recommend to any business owner that runs his or her own Facebook business page. You really should have a second administrator of that page. Somebody, Dan is saying, I don't do scheduling, but I know how to do it. And Wayne says, I'm not sure about scheduling. So Wayne, I've got a little tutorial for you, and I'm going to send that in a link to you about how to schedule posts. You should both have a second administrator on your page if you don't yet. Wayne, I am an administrator of your page at this moment because of the advertising. Think about whether you want someone else to be backing you up on that. And that's just because we should all have someone as backup if you go to Europe and your mobile phones are just not working for some reason and you really need to do something with your business page. Something big has happened in your business. So that other person could be your backup, to drop in there and say, hey, Wayne's not here, he'll be back in a week, or something like that. There should just always be somebody who can back you up. I had that problem. I'm usually a sole operator, but I had a problem with my phone, and I had to have somebody be able to use their phone to post for me very briefly. So just keep that in mind. You should have a second administrator on your page. So again, some beginner level things you should think about. Can you find the insights to your page? Can you and do you? So insights are right there. If you're visiting your page as the owner of that page, you're seeing this secondary menu right below the blue bar that gives you these options. And in those options, one of them is Insights. And if I click on that, that gets you to all the data behind your page. If you haven't been there, you better get there and familiarize yourself with that section. And we're going to look at it a little more in depth in a little bit. All right. That's the advanced level, how to use your insights to improve your Facebook experience. Okay. So again, we're checking up on your beginner skills here. Do you know what this big wide photo at the top is called? I'll give you a chance to type it into the chat box. It's got a specific name, and there's something specific you should do with it. Anybody want to take a guess in the chat? What is it called? Nope. Wayne says nope. So that is called a cover photo. Cover, C-O-V-E-R, not a banner photo, though that would be the obvious thing to call it because it's a banner photo, but Facebook calls it a cover photo. And that terminology becomes important because if you have trouble with it or trouble figuring it out, and you're trying to use the otherwise useless help feature in Facebook, it's called a cover photo, capital C. And what you should do with it is change it up every now and then. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in this presentation, okay? So on with the advanced show, the advanced tactics you should be considering. The number one thing I can recommend you do to have a successful business experience on Facebook is to build up your fan base all the time. Constantly, that's your main job, okay? You got one job, build up your fan base. And the best way to do that at any given time is to make sure you're asking your personal Facebook friends to like the page. Now, if you're not so active on Facebook personally, this may not apply to you. I think Wayne is new to Facebook. Dan, I don't know if you're doing personal Facebook and have a lot of personal friends, but if so, no matter how many you have, you should consider doing this. Asking those friends, those Facebook friends, to come over and like your page. Now, often when I say this in workshops, people in different types of businesses will say, I do not want to mix up my personal and my business, and that's understandable. But once you do this, you can keep them separate to the extent that you want. And if you're just part of a larger corporation, you maybe don't want to do this. Invite your friends over to that corporation's page. But because I know you two are solo operators or very small businesses, just keep this in mind. Your family and friends over on Facebook care about what you're doing in business. They want to know what you're up to. They are familiar with it, but won't see the day-to-day that you're posting on Facebook unless you invite them to like the page. And I recommend you do this also because it's going to help you gain some traction in the beginning. If their activity on your page is going to help your page grow. People that you hadn't thought of, their family and friends, could see your posts, and that's the whole point. You're going to attempt to go sideways, capturing their family and friends and bring them back to your page as likers. That's why I recommend that as a strategy. So if you were to, backed up there, in the lower left, there's a grayed out area in your menu when you're visiting your business page, and I'll say invite friends to like this page. Now this feature moves. Sometimes it's over on the right, sometimes it's both. It'll be on your page somewhere. Invite friends to like this page, and if you click on it, something like this comes up. And when you see that, that's your list of personal family and friends with whom you are friends on Facebook. And so what you see here is my list of friends, the top section of my list of friends. And you can see that Margaret has liked my page. I can still invite Jim and Deb. I have invited Christine, the third one down. You can see she's been invited, but the fact that it doesn't say liked means she has chosen not to, and that's fine. I do not ever get a chance to ask her again. You get one chance to do that. If the recipient ignores your invite, you don't get to bug them. So that's built into Facebook. So just going forward, you can pick and choose. Yes, I want to ask Christine, but Marcia doesn't care, and Brandon might, so I should invite him. So you can make choices person by person in your list of family and friends when that comes up. It's a great little tool and a great way to get started. So tied for #1 way to build up your fan base, in addition to inviting your own personal family and friends, the most important thing you can do, and I can't stress this enough, is to post things that are really good and to do that regularly on your Facebook page. Post good content regularly, which is to say, good content is, are you ready? My 4 E's. Entertain them, engage them, enrich their lives, or enlighten them. So that's a pretty broad mandate, the 4 E's. Entertain, engage, enrich, or enlighten. And that just means you have, if what you're about to post on Facebook doesn't meet one of those criteria, maybe that's something you don't need to post. But entertaining as a business, why should you do that? Well, for the Santa Claus, that might be obvious. But to provide something that's entertaining to your business audience is a good business strategy because it contributes to what we know works in marketing. It helps people to know, like, and trust you. And people have to know, like, and trust you before they'll do business with you. So that's why we entertain them with the occasional cat video or the video that you took outside that has nothing whatsoever to do with your business, or by reposting somebody else's funny joke from Facebook. Engaging means put something up that is going to perhaps prompt a reply from somebody, which is ultimately what we want to have happen. Ask them a question, ask them to share, take a little poll, state something controversial in your business or in the world if you're comfortable with that, but something that will engage the readers and cause them to respond. Enriching their lives or enlightening them, those are kind of the same, but enriching them means explain something that you're doing, explain something that they may not have realized about your business, and enlightening them might be just sharing an article that you read related to your business or not, but enlightening your viewers, your readers. So that's just the 4 E's of what good content is, and ultimately the big rule is don't be boring. Don't be boring. So I used to do the Facebook posts for a bank when Facebook was new, and they were new, and they can be forgiven for this, but they kept posting, we're open from 9 to 5. We're open from 9 to 5. We have checking accounts. We have low interest loans. And you heard that about 5 times, and then you were done looking at what they were posting, right? So don't be boring. That's kind of a key factor. Do not always be selling or talking only about you. Do those other things I talked about. Give them something entertaining, enriching, and enlightening, and educational, okay? So if you're stuck for ideas, here are some that I've seen work really well on Facebook. Answer the common questions you get about your business, and knowing a little bit about your two's business, I know that you get certain questions all the time. How do you do this? Why is this happening? What does this mean? So pick out those common questions you're being asked in person or on your website or through email or whatever, and turn them into a post on Facebook. You could conduct an interview with someone related to your business, or a special client, or a special vendor or supplier, just a short little mini interview, and post that. You could highlight one of your employees. I don't know if either of you have employees. I don't think Wayne does, and I'm not sure about Dan. Let me know, Dan, do you have employees? Or you're leading the group of Santas, right? Anyway, you can go on to predict the trends in your industry. What's going to happen next year, 6 months from now? What are the experts saying? What do you think about what the experts are saying? You could invite guest contributors. You could actually have someone related to your business write something for you and you post it up on Facebook. Demonstrate something, and this really should be the top on this list. That's the most popular type of content you could consider putting up. Demonstrations or tutorials. And here's an idea, create a list of the top 5. A top 5 something related to your industry. People love lists. So if you have some ideas you can distill down into a list, that would be a great Facebook post. And then always, we all have an opportunity to do this throughout the lifespan of our business is tell the backstory of what you're up to. How did you get to be farming in Francistown? Or how on earth did you decide that being Santa Claus for a living was the way you were going to go? Every aspect of that is interesting to people, interesting to your customers. And again, it gets back into that know, like, and trust aspect that causes people to do business with us. So those are just some ideas for when you're stuck for Facebook posts. And when I say you really must post non-boring things once a day, every day, no more, no less. When I say that in my live workshops, many people totally freak out, okay? When I say once a day, every day, no more, no less, and something really interesting, this is the reaction I get, okay? Do I get that reaction from either of you two out there? Once a day, every day, no more, no less. All right, so scheduling, I referred to this before. You see the link down below. I will send that out to both of you when we're done, but it walks you through the step of scheduling posts. So what I do, Wayne and Dan, I don't know if you're ever going to go down this road, but I manage a bunch of clients' Facebook pages. And so I will take a chunk of time, say an hour on a Monday morning, and see how much I can get done, how many posts I can make in that hour. And then I go through the process of scheduling them out once a day. So underneath your post box is something that looks like this, news feed. It's share now. If I press that button, the post would go live immediately. But if I just hover over it, this little mini menu comes up and you see that schedule is one of the choices. Schedule. And if I were to click that, it brings up something that looks like your typical calendar date choosing thing within that we see on websites all over the place. And in here, you can pick the date and you can pick a specific time of day in which you want that post to go live. And we'll look a little bit more about that concept in a minute. So this is an advanced skill. Have you programmed your call to action button? And are you at the other end going, I have no idea what she's talking about? Do either of you know what the call to action button is? Dan or Wayne? Type her into the box if you've got the box there. Wayne says no. Understandable. Dan, have you done yours? Oh, I've caught him off guard. He's actually off eating lunch. Yes, I have programmed it. Connected it to website. Website, very good. All right, Wayne or Dan, you're ahead of us, and Wayne, a brief explanation. The call to action button is this blue button that's right below the big cover photo at the top of your Facebook page. The call to action button is, the default is send message, this middle one, but you see how this one says sign up and this one says learn more. There are 9 different programmable messages you can make that button say. And why would you do that and how do you do that? Let's look at that. So sign up, send message, learn more, and there are more. Over here we've got how to change it. You hover over the blue button that says, probably for you, says message us. Hover over it. This small drop-down menu drops down. In that it says edit button. That's your second step. Third step, this menu comes up, book services, get in touch, learn more, make a purchase, download an app. If you were to click book services, for example, it's going to come up with something that you can format to say, I am available for appointments at these particular hours of these particular days. That's something that hairdressers use, massage therapists, that type of thing. And if that makes sense for you to program, you should think about having your button say book services. Get in touch. Underneath get in touch, there's several other options. It's like call now, and it would be programmed to call directly to your phone number, or email. You can program it to email. Learn more, or some variant thereof, is what mine usually says. Under learn more is sign up, or there's a couple other phrases in there, but it's meant to bring people to your website or some subset within your website, some page deep within your website. So you can make that button programmed to get people to your website. That sounds like what Wayne has done. I'm sorry, that sounds like what Dan has done. And Wayne, that would probably be a good thing for us to look at. What does your button say and where does it lead people? And at this point, you could have that button lead people to the How to Purchase My Product page on your website, okay? So program your call to action button. That's what that button is called. And a reminder, you're getting a video of this afterwards that will show you those. You'll be able to see those slides again to review it, or we could just talk about it, okay? So getting back to our insights, when are you going to post and how often? You know that I say once a day, every day, no more, no less, but when and how often? So here's what the data shows. This is fairly recent data. You'll see March of 2018, this company called CoSchedule studied Facebook posts of business pages and learned that Saturdays and Sundays, you get high engagement from your readers when you post something on those days. Now that's a flip. It used to be the reverse. People got less engagement on weekends because we were out doing things with our kids and not sitting on the computer. But now it's changed, and that largely has to do with the traffic on Facebook. But so you'll see Sunday and Saturday, those posts get 30% higher engagement than the rest of the week. And then of the rest of the week, Thursdays and Fridays are pretty good. And we can assume Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are something less than 18% engagement. And by engagement, we mean like, comment, share, or click on a link that you might have in a post. So those are days to try for. And if you're having trouble keeping up with my rule of once a day, every day, you should at least be sure to hit Saturdays and Sundays. I always make sure that I hit Friday late morning, so that I can, so that there's a post that goes live Friday on late morning so that I can get the people who are sick of working and they're going to look at Facebook in the afternoon, and it also captures the evening ones. So that's, this is the overall data, and I'm going to instruct you to look at your own data in a minute. The best times of day, 9 in the morning seems to be good, 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. or between those 2 hours is actually what they're saying. So what we know about 9 a.m. is people get to work, sit at their computers, and before they actually get into actual work, they play around on Facebook a bit. That's why that works. And then in the afternoon, this is consistent data. Over the 10 years I've been looking at this, the afternoon is a good time, between 1 and 3. And probably because if you're like me, that's when you want to take a nap or something. But you got to keep working and look like you're working. People will use that time to look at Facebook. That's for sure. All right. Here's what we know about that 1 to 3 time frame. Posting at 3 p.m. gets you more clicks on, while posting at 1 p.m. gets you more shares. People are more likely to share your posts with their family and friends. At 3, more likely to click on it. Both of those are good. Both of those are engagement, and Facebook loves both of those. They want this to happen to your posts and will reward you by delivering your posts higher up in people's news feeds if you get consistent engagement. So that's why to go for those times. Now that I've showed you what I think the word is the aggregate data is, the average data from all Facebook users. Now, going to your own insights, a reminder, you would go to this page, you would, your homepage, you would see insights and click on it, and it brings up your own data specific to your page, and it's very granular data. What I'm showing you here is something that's within the data pages called When Are Your Fans Online? Your fans, meaning the people who have liked your page. And that's what I'm saying. You want to see if yours jives with what I just said about averages, and you want to see if your data has any anomalies that you should pay attention to. So here's from mine from today, I think, and what days of the week and times of day. Okay, so across days of the week, for my likers, I see that I have pretty consistent number of those people. This just means number online on that day. So on Sunday, 423, Sunday's the highest, but not by much, and it's pretty consistent all the way across. So I don't learn from this that, oh man, I really have to be sure to do Wednesdays because Wednesdays are huge. We learned that all the days are equally the same, except Sunday's got a little bit of an advantage. Similarly, down at the bottom, this whale-shaped graph is showing me when are people online. At 3 o'clock, not so much. And then as daylight is coming, 6, 7, there's a blip right before 9 o'clock. So my readers are online in great number right before 9 o'clock and pretty consistently through the day. I put the line there to show you just slightly below the same time, every hour of the day. So, but look here, there's a tiniest bit of a blip right about 8:30. A lot of people will have a fairly dramatic blip right about that time, and that has to do with who is their audience. People get online in the evenings after they put the kids to bed, after they've had dinner, after they've sat down to watch television, and they're also watching Facebook. That's literally true. We're doing both at once. So if you happen to look at your own insights and determine that yours have blips here and there, then you want to make sure that you're delivering your posts right before the blip happens so that you're capturing those people and anybody that comes after it. So let's go back to the 1 to 3 p.m. time. If I were to post in here, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., somewhere in there, I would not necessarily miss everybody that comes before that, but I would capture everybody, but I would for sure capture everybody that comes after it, in theory, that they're online and that they're going to see my stuff because I've dropped it in to a time that they are actually looking at Facebook. That's the theory there. So the overarching lesson is be sure to look at your insights, study them, and see what's happening. There are many more data points in your insights, and here's just one of them. Feel free to drop in here with questions or confusions as I speak, and we'll have time at the end to really go through some of your own questions as well. So furthermore, in Insights, further down in Insights, you will see this kind of snapshot of each and every one of the posts you've ever made all the way back to the beginning of time. And it's showing you the orange bar is engagements. No, the orange bar is reach, and these blue and purple bars are engagements, meaning likes, comments, shares, links, clicks. And the blue and the purple are paid versus organic, meaning they happened organically. You didn't pay for the privilege of people liking your stuff. The only thing you need to know from this snapshot is, whoa, where's the longest orange bar? And it's right there. So my eye immediately goes there and says, well, I did something right with that post. What is it about? And so clicking through, I could see what the post was about. Why did it catch people's attention? I got more attention than other days. That's all I'm competing against is myself at this point. And it got a lot of engagement, likes, comments, and shares. And so my job as the business owner is to read this and learn from it and do more of that type of post. That just indicates whatever I did there resonated with people, do more of that in order to capture more of them. So you will have a graph that looks something like this, and your job is to look for the orange bar and then to repeat, repeat, repeat. Do more of what you've just done. That works. Now, the minute you figure out what works and try it again and again, at some point it'll stop working and something will change and you'll learn something else about your audience, okay? So this is a snapshot of each and every post, and if you were to go to your insights and click on the blue lettering associated with the post, it would come up and populate an extremely granular data just for that post alone, be able to tell you where the people were from, how old were they, what is it that they liked and commented and shared, what were their comments. It would all be in there. And again, this goes back to the beginning of time in your insights. Think of this as the web analytics behind your page. We all used to look at the analytics on our website. This is the equivalent. So let me know if I lost you anywhere there in insights, if you have any questions, guys. And then I'll spend a little time talking about visual design. Any questions about those insights, Dan or Wayne, while I drink to your health? Wayne is good. Nothing from Dan. Okay. So a brief, Dan says, makes sense to me. I don't use them, but will now. Very good. Thank you, Dan. Reform. I'd give it, once a week when you have a moment, just take a look at your insights and see if there's something obvious you should be doing because of the data there. In the old days, Facebook would email you, the business owner, the weekly summary of your insights. I would literally email it to your inbox, and I think they cut that out. You might discover that it's still in there somewhere that you could opt for the data to be sent to you. That would make me crazy, but some of you, that might be a good reminder for you to look at the insights. All right, so let's talk a little bit about visual design. Know that every post you make really must be accompanied by a photo, a graphic, or a video in order to get attention. Gone are the days that a text-only post would suffice. People want graphics, they expect graphics and photos, and furthermore, Facebook rewards you if you post videos. And so let's just talk about that. The best types of photos you can have are ones that you've taken yourself and maybe overlaid it with some text of your own. We'll look at some ideas about that in a minute. Second best type of photo posts you can make is using very high quality stock photos that you've customized to your own purposes. So stock photos are copyright free photos taken by somebody else that you find on sites set up for this purpose online. And I can send you a document I have that lists 100 of these types of sites. I will do that since you've enrolled in my class here. But stock photos are good as long as they're high quality and you've determined that they do not belong to anybody. So the best types of photos, if they can include babies and cats together, that'd be good. But know that we as human beings respond to people's faces more than anything else, and animals are second best. So I think as Santa Claus and a person who's raising pretty cute looking cattle, it can go a long way with your photographs, your own photographs. So, okay, that crash you heard was my own cat doing something bad. Here's what I mean about a photograph overlaid with text. This is, let's see, it's a woman who's a personal trainer, and she has taken a photograph of herself. It's really a selfie, and then she overlaid it with a nutrition thing that she does called Produce and Protein, meaning eat produce and protein for breakfast. And she's put a couple of points in text over that photograph. That's actually my darling daughter, and she is a personal trainer. So that's a really popular type of photograph to post, one that's overlaid with text. That's what I'm saying. And here's another example of that. So that was her own photograph, and we together attached the text to it. This is somebody else's photograph. This is a photograph I found using one of the stock photo sites. I chose black and white because in today's very colorful world, black and white stands out from the crowd if you use it sparingly. So I chose a black and white photo, and then I overlaid it with this quote from Picasso. That's popular, and that's a popular type of photo to use. So where I get or have gotten most of the stock photographs that I use is a site called Pixabay. See what it's on the slide there, pixabay.com. That's a site of stock photos, great photos, high quality, and free and copyright free. And I use Pixabay all the time for all of my clients. I don't care what type of photo, what you need a photograph of, you're going to find it there. If you need a photograph of a sleigh in the snow, you're going to find one there. There are dozens more of these in the document that I'll send you. But Pixabay is the one I use most often for stock photos. So you should also think about changing it up by doing fun things with text. So if you've got text only message to put in your Facebook post, do something like this. Make the words look interesting, turn them into art. This was an example of the purpose of a Facebook ad is to connect to get people to commit, and then to close the deal. That's what the 3 words here are. And I just didn't know what else to say about those 3 concepts, so I turned it into a graphic. All right, and there's just sparkles with information about a church service. People, again, types of graphics. People love this type of thing, motivational quotes. Go figure, but it's one of the more popular types of things you can do on Facebook is to post a motivational quote, something like this. It's a slow process, but quitting won't speed it up. You know, keep going. That's the message there. People love these things. And why does that matter to you? If they love it, they will like it, they will comment on it, they will share it to their people, and that is good for you. It's good for your business page to be noticed and for their family and friends to see the name of this business in front of them when their family and friends likes your motivational quote. It's weird, I know, but it really does work. So let's see, I used to post for the local fitness center in Peterborough, the Wellness Center, which is a fitness center for people maybe recovering from hip surgery or something like that. And I did a lot of these motivational things. So I did it every week, once a week on Mondays, Motivational Mondays. So you might say, well, how did you create all those things? I start with the idea that I am not a graphic designer and have had no training in that. But here's a wonderful tool you should all be familiar with. It's called Canva, CANVA.com. It's a website at which you can find templates that you can choose from and then customize them to make it look like your business colors, your business typeface if you have that, your branding. And it's basically graphics design for dummies, and I don't feel bad about admitting that. So you go to Canva, canva.com, and it first says, what are you trying to create? Is it a Facebook post, an Instagram post, a cover photo? And the beauty of it is it will give you a template that is the proper size for a Facebook cover photo, the proper size of a Facebook post. It gives you a template, and then all you have to do is manipulate that template. So this is just a static shot. We won't go live to Canva now, but here on the left, it's showing me some templates that it delivered it to me when I said, I'm trying to create a Facebook post. And so it delivered these layouts, and I could click this one with the young women here and the brown text. If I clicked on that, it would open it up in the window to the right and enable me to drop a different photograph where you see the young women in black and white. It would enable me to change the tan background to blue. It would enable me to change the font to whatever I want, and any combination thereof. So that's, then once you've created it here in Canva, you can immediately save it to your hard drive and you're done. It's there for you to use forever. Or you can share it to your Facebook page directly from within the Canva program, which is pretty awesome. So canva.com is something I recommend highly to make interesting graphics which your Facebook audience wants and needs. I do a whole hour and a half on how to make graphics if you don't know what you're doing. And the next time I'm doing that workshop is in Jaffrey at noon on April 19th. No pressure, just if you want to know more about that, hour and a half workshop on that topic. So this leads me back around to videos. Videos are the most popular type of content you can put on your Facebook page. Popular because your readers want them. They want moving pictures. Today's generation has grown up on a steady diet of YouTube, and so they're expecting their photographs to be moving. So you should do that to the extent that you can manage it. When you're a beginner at this, I always recommend people try to strive for one video a week. It doesn't have to be long and complicated. It could be a shot out the window at the snow in your backyard if that's what you want. But something, video, should be posted to your page as often as possible. Facebook encourages video posts, and in their algorithm, they will give greater weight to a post that involves video. Because they know that that's what people want, and they want to reward you when you do it. Furthermore, customers, like video, and it again gets back to, it contributes to them knowing you and liking you and share and trusting you, and therefore doing business with you. Video contributes to that greater than a photograph will or a graphic will. So now that I've said that, if you shot a video with your camera or even using your web camera, as I'm doing now, you've got a video file living on your mobile phone. You could, if you had the Facebook app on your mobile phone, upload that video directly to Facebook and post it. But what if it needs editing? You can bring that file into an editing program and save it on your hard drive, save it on your mobile, whichever way you're going. But here's what Facebook wants you to do. If you upload a video that you've shot and put it on YouTube, which you all should have a YouTube channel, and you will have a YouTube channel if you ever upload a video to it. It's a great place to store your videos. But know that if you upload a video file to YouTube, you can, when it's done, grab a link to that file, which is what I'm going to do tomorrow to send you this presentation. Grab a link to that file. You could drop that link into your Facebook post, and people will be able to see that video and watch it from, and they'll see notification of it in Facebook. But now that I've said all that, don't do that. Because if you bring a link over from YouTube, Facebook will punish you. And I mean that literally. Facebook and Google, which owns YouTube, are in a war. They are in extreme competition, and Facebook has figured out, if you're posting from YouTube to Facebook instead of uploading to Facebook directly, they have figured out how to trick the algorithm to deliver that content to your readers, less likely to deliver that content to their readers higher up in their news feeds. Did I lose any of you there? Dan, I think maybe you took my video marketing class before and heard all that before. But the point is, direct to Facebook is best. Any questions on that, Dan or Wayne, on the video concept? Dan didn't know about the Google battle. So yeah, just Mark Zuckerberg is trying to crush Google and trying to be the video place. It does not like YouTube links. That's basically how to think about it. Okay, so, but YouTube is a great place to store the videos that you've shot, and people will find them there accidentally, and they'll be there, and you can take a link from there and put it on your website, or take the link from there and put it in emails. Just don't put it in a Facebook post. So on the subject of videos, some types of videos you would think about doing should be educational ones, how-to demonstrations. So I alluded to this before. How-tos of any kind are the most popular content on the internet. It's what people watch and love and seek out. And they usually do that through YouTube. But you should be thinking about what can you demonstrate on video for people to see. It's probably pretty obvious in both of your businesses. Here's how we get the cows on the grass. Here's how I train Santa Clauses to be Santa Clauses. People will be fascinated by that and know that it's great content that people will love. So doing that in a pre-recorded way, shoot the video, upload it later is fine. And if you can manage doing it live using Facebook Live, meaning broadcasting live, again, Facebook rewards you for going live as opposed to pre-recorded. It will treat your video with greater algorithm respect and deliver it higher up in people's news feeds. So that's not always easy to go live, but here are types of videos you should think about doing. Educational, just a note on this guy. He began a video to demonstrate how to peel a potato. All right, do something more interesting than that, please. All right, if you can do post an entertaining video, do it. A cat playing piano would be great, but any type of entertaining thing, that would be, again, a great type of post to get people to know, like, and trust you. Interviewing somebody, again, remember I said that was a type of content that is easy to do if you're stuck for ideas, and this doesn't have to be as elaborate as Sion or whatever her name is, and Ellen DeGeneres, but you interviewing somebody or vice versa for a short time on camera would be awesome content. Know that with my partner, Nanette Perrott, my video partner, she and I put on classes in video marketing and broadcasting, how to use that live feature of Facebook, or just how to do video marketing in general. We're doing a webinar like this online on May 1st. We're doing it in person at the Jaffrey Chamber of Commerce on May 10th. And Dan, am I remembering right? You took one of those classes over in Hillsborough at some point. Tell me if I'm right. But just a note, yeah, that was Dan doing that. Yay. And Dan, I think you've been doing video since then. Am I right? A note about Dan, a note about the video partner, Nanette. She's a performer by trade. She's a jazz singer and a jazz presenter, and she has the camera skills. She has taught me to do what I do, and she gets people confident enough to face that camera with confidence and to use the right equipment. And then we talk about how to promote the video that you've just created. It's a great workshop, and we love doing it. Dan is admitting using video not as much as he should. And again, strive, give yourself a goal to strive for one video a week. That will really help you. If you take either of those webinars or workshops, you get this bundle of tutorials that Nanette and I have put together. We usually sell it for $27, but it contains 4 video tutorials and 4 worksheets that go along with it and a planning template, and you get it for free if you're in one of those workshops with us. All right, so in our last 6 or so minutes together, think about questions, and we'll have some time at the end, but here are some best practices going forward in your Facebook activity. And this, if you're involved in any other social media as beyond Facebook, it applies there as well. Some best practices. Like and share things from other businesses. Share the love is what I like to call this. You should, as a business, make it a point to go like other businesses. And I think I've got a slide coming up that'll show you how to do that. But here's why you should do that. It spreads the love around. They will see that you've done it. They will gain a few viewers perhaps because you've done it, but they will see that you've done it, and they are most likely to come back and like yours as well. You don't need to do this willy-nilly for every business in the world, but if you're in a tiny town like Francistown, you can go like the general store's business page if they have one, or go like the library, and make sure that you do so to spread the good love around. Like your vendors, like your suppliers. As your business, go like their business page. Then you're going to see the posts that they do every now and then. And every now and then you're going to want to click on that, what they've done, or share it, or give it a like. Same concept applies. They're going to see that you've done so. You're going to spread the love, spread good karma, and they may come back and do the same. Every now and then, think about mentioning a business. And by mentioning, I mean put that @ symbol right in front of the name of their business. And when you're done writing that in the post, that name becomes clickable to the viewer. And also the owner of that business page is going to see that you've done that. The viewer can get directly to that business's page, and they will like that convenience. So what do I mean by that? If you were going to mention, today I took a webinar from Chris of Halverson New Media. If you wrote a post that said just what I just said, but instead of just typing Halverson New Media, you typed the @ symbol followed by Halverson New Media all together, it's going to turn that clickable and bring people to my Facebook page. So you should do that with your suppliers, with your vendors, if you have a business that is a good client, a good customer, you should do that. If you've just done a presentation, and this is probably for Dan, if you've been invited to an event at which the Santas are there, you'll want to post about it, mentioning with the @ symbol the organization that hired you to come present there. Okay, so I just call that share the love, and be sure you do that. Like other people's stuff, share their stuff, like their business pages. It's just good policy, good strategy. Here's the little shot, how to like another business as the business. So here's in the background is my business page. You can see this button here, it says liked. That means as a person, I have already liked this business page, but you want to do it as the business. So instead of pressing the like button, these three dots that are somewhere below the big cover photo at the top of the business page, the three dots are there, and then pressing the three dots brings up this small drop-down menu. And in that drop-down menu, right at the bottom, in this case, it says like as your page. And if you're to click on that, it's going to open up another window that says like it as Rocky Meadow Farms or like it as Dan Santa. And it's just, you're just confirming it that you're wanting to like it as the business. Okay. Questions about that? Did I lose anybody? Again, clearing my throat here. Dan, have you gone down the road of liking other businesses as your business? And Wayne, I think you and I discussed this once. I'm not sure if you've been doing it, but let me know if you have. I just, I like try to do like once a month, I try to make sure that I go and like other businesses. I belong to 3 different chambers of commerce, and I work my way through liking the business pages of the people I meet at those chambers. Wayne says he's done a little of that thus far. Dan, yes, but that's a recent option, so I should check that my business has liked my clients. Yeah, indeed. Just give yourself a half hour someday to go check around and go like those clients. Good policy. So I've given you some assignments here. I've said that you have to post once a day, every day, and that you should have some interesting graphics and learn how to do interesting graphics. None of this is going to happen unless you set aside time in your week to do it. You know, in the old days, we set aside time in our business week to answer the phone calls, right? Or to answer the emails, right? Now, you've got to set aside a little time every week to pay attention to your Facebook page and do these things that I've suggested, liking other businesses, create some graphics, think about a video marketing strategy, just to stay on top of it. Set aside time or it won't happen. Plan your content. So what I mean by that is create yourself an editorial calendar. Here's sort of a 2-part calendar that Nanette, the video person, and I use together because we have to coordinate what we're doing. She's got her own business. I have my own business. We'll take a piece of paper out like this. We can customize it to whatever the month is, and we'll type in, I'm doing a post on this on the 19th, and look, the 30th is wide open, or vice versa. We're going to talk about this topic on a certain day. Do this to the extent that it makes sense for your business. With a literal piece of paper, I mean that is in front of your nose as you're sitting at your desktop computer. Write it out. Or if you're out in the field, driving in your car, and you have an idea, write it down. On April 21st, I really should talk about that thing that's happening on April 23rd, right? If you don't write it down, there will not be consistency in your posting. And if you do write it down, you're going to be efficient and you're going to start presenting people with the type of content that they like. Doesn't take much, a little paper calendar, whatever works for you, but set aside time and plan that editorial calendar. Okay, now we have 2 minutes left in our hour together, or even more, because I started a little bit later. We did not get joined by the other 2 students that signed up. If because there's only 2 of you here, I'm going to turn on the microphones and you can talk to us instead. Wayne says, not sure how to move a picture from Pixabay to Facebook and to superimpose copy on the picture, maybe explained in future courses. So I'm going to turn on your microphones, guys, and say a few words now and see if I can hear you.
We're here.
You're here.
Yep.
That was Wayne and Dan?
I'm here too.
Okay, good, good. Well, if you don't mind, I'm going to go, if I can manage it. I'm going to stop the share and I'm going to go to Canva just to demonstrate the question that Wayne raises. Okay, and I'll come back. I'll be back in a flash. Stand by. Can you still hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Again.
Okay, good. So I'm going to get to that site called Canva. I hope. All right. Now, are you folks seeing on your screen
Yep.
a big
Yes.
giant leaf?
Yes.
Okay, good. Then you're in the right place. So Wade and Dan, this is Canva. Dan, have you ever used this program?
I have. I've used it a few times. Sometimes it's just daunting. There's so many options.
There's so many options, that's true, but let's just concentrate on one. So this was, if you went to canva.com and your intent was to make a Facebook graphic, a graphic for your Facebook post. Look down here, it says say it with flowers, Facebook post. I clicked on that, and that means it's going to get all the templates that are pre-sized as a Facebook post. It's calling it up on the left. It's a little slow because my program here takes a lot of bandwidth. And here are those templates on the left. And you can bring one open over here for your future Halloween masquerade. That was maybe a bad option because this is paid. You see the slash marks through the top. It means I have to pay them for the privilege of using this template. It's probably $1 or something like that. To demonstrate, I don't need to pay them, so I'm going to do that. So here's my template that I can manipulate. And I can choose the text area and make it say Christmas party or Christine, Christmas party, and change this to a different photograph that I own. I clicked on the left. This is nothing to do with Christmas, but I'm going to use it anyway. Bring it over. I took a photograph that I had used before. I uploaded it here. And now I've decided, no, I'm going to tell people the date and time. Typing badly. December 24th. Christmas party. I can manipulate any parts of this. Clicking on the black part. See the black box up here? Say I want to turn it into my branding colors, which are registered in the brain of Canva. There you have it. The color doesn't work so well with the type, so I'm going to change the color of the type back to black. And so there I've created a Facebook post in about 3 seconds. Now, I was that fast because I use this a lot, but with a little practice, you will get fast as well. Go here and fool around, make a birthday card for your grandkid or something, just to get comfortable with it. And I think Wayne's question was,
Well, how would you get that? How would you get that particular picture on your Facebook?
yeah, so now I've done it. How do I get it to Facebook? See up
Yeah.
here, it says share. Here, mine is not programmed this way. I'm sorry, publish. Publish.
Mhm. Yep.
Right here, I can pick the Facebook page, a Facebook group that I own. I could publish it to Twitter if I was doing that, or I could just download it and then bring it up in the usual fashion. I don't do it direct to Facebook because I manage too many pages, but clicking right here to download is going to save that design. Watch what it does. I'm preparing your design. They put it on my hard drive over here. So it's there for me to call up the next time I go to Facebook and drop it in as a post. That was a very quick demonstration, I understand, but know that it's extremely simple. And especially so if you just get in there and practice a tiny bit, it remembers everything you've created. These are all the designs I've recently played around with. Oh, who was this? Right there. This is how I formatted for ads. I formatted actual literal business cards. See if I can show you. I mean, you can design things for print using this program as well. Here's a Facebook cover photo. It's not formatted correctly here, but that's what its intent was, to be a Facebook cover photo. I just love this program so much. Putting the text on it, I think that was also part of your question, Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of 2 of these things. If I decided I wanted to add something entirely different than what the template gave me, I just click text on the left-hand side. I say, I'm going to add a heading, and I can change, it drops that little thing in there. This is a heading, you know, and I could manipulate that till the cows came home. So you see how easy that is. And that was my 5-second demonstration of Canva, but I love that program. We are at time here, and I want to get back to the proper place here. See if you have any more questions. Anything else in terms of questions you have about what I said? Anything? Sorry, I think I've stopped sharing something here. There, are you seeing the beginning of my presentation at this point?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, good. We're back to the beginning. I think we had Susie join us late here, and we're asking people to shout out questions.
Thank you, will do.
Susie, we started at 12 and we're about to be done here, but you can get the recording of this. Were you having trouble logging in?
No, I was having difficulty with the East Coast West or Midwest.
Oh dear. Okay. Well, you and I can chat offline, and I'll see what I can figure out for you. Any other questions, Wayne and Dan, or Susie? A top question you might have about Facebook at this point?
No, Margaret Ann Hennon recommended me, and I did not realize I had a time zone to deal with.
Oh, Margaret Hennon, I'm honored. I'll send you a note afterwards, Susie, and we'll figure out something, okay? Wayne and Dan, any last questions? And a reminder, you'll get this recording.
Do you have any suggestions for fairly easy to use video editing apps?
Yeah, well, boy, they're all over the map, and there's thousands of them. So I'm going to send you the document that mentions a few.
Okay.
But video editing is built into your Mac as iMovie and into your PCs as, I always forget what the PC one is called, but any desktop computer has that capability built in. I have flunked those editing programs. I use YouTube to edit, if you can believe it. YouTube itself is an editing program. On my phone, I have used an app called, I got to look it up here, Clip-O-Matic. So the word Clip-O-Matic. And that is an app that costs $4.99 to put onto your phone. And it records you, and you can put it on a tripod, put your phone on a tripod or selfie style, shoot what you're doing, and it also automatically generates captions, which is a good thing because many of us don't watch videos, we read videos. We keep the sound off and we're reading the captions. So Clip-O-Matic is fun. There's a billion more though, Wayne. That's what I can recommend off the top of my head.
Great, thanks.
Yeah. Anything else, Dan?
No, great, thanks.
Thanks. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to sign off, and Susie, I'll be right back at you, sending you a note, okay?
Super, thank you.
All right, thank you all. Thanks for
All right.
joining us. I'm glad you found this, and I hope to see you again.
Thanks.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye now.
Bye.